Hey everybody! I'm here today with a driving lesson on turning at slow speeds. In this video, I'll be going over a few things that you should keep in mind and do when turning at slow speeds, and I'll also be demonstrating myself turning at slow speeds for you in this video. Let's get right into it. Now, the definition of slow speeds is a personal one. You can define slow speeds as whatever it means to you, but generally speaking, as a general rule of thumb, a slow speed is a speed that is slower than you would regularly drive. So if you regularly take turns at 30 or 40 kilometers an hour, if you're taking a turn at 20 kilometers an hour or 15 or 10, that would be a slow speed for you. So it's very similar to turning at regular speeds or fast speeds, but there are a few things that you have to take into consideration. First and foremost, you got to turn the wheel slower. So if you would regularly be turning the wheel like this when you're turning at a regular speed, or even like this when you're turning at a fast speed, you're gonna have to just turn the wheel slower. So the actual speed in which you're turning the wheel is gonna have to be a slower speed, okay? And I'll demonstrate in just a quick moment. Now, more skill is actually required to create a smooth turning radius. It's actually harder to turn slower than it is to turn at a faster speed, because you have to be able to get the curvature of the turn more perfectly. It's much easier to make a mistake, okay? The next factor is you will actually have more time to respond to road hazards. If you're turning at a slower speed, that actually gives you more time to respond to a parked car, an animal that comes onto the road, whatever the case is, anything, a pedestrian that kicks a ball onto the road and maybe is thinking about running onto the road to go get it, whatever the road hazard is, if you turn at a slower speed, it gives you more time to respond. And basically the last factor is that more skill is required to control the gas and the brake during the turn, okay? This is especially true if you're driving a manual car. If you're driving a manual car, it's way harder to turn at a slow speed than it is to turn at a fast speed, depending on which gear you're using. Now, with that being said, enough talking, let's get to the demonstration. I'm gonna take a few turns at slow speeds, and I'll just basically give you an idea of what it means and what you should be doing. So let's go ahead, we're gonna move away. I believe there's a curve in the road up here. I'm gonna be taking that curve in the road at a slow speed. So right now, I would regularly be taking that curve at about this speed, which is about 40 kilometers an hour. I'm gonna cut that down to half. I'm gonna take this curve at 20 kilometers an hour. It's just a curve, so I don't have to signal over here. You can see I'm turning the wheel much slower. I have tons of time to look and respond to road hazards. I had tons of time there to look at the road ahead of me, okay? It does take more skill, though, to turn at a slower speed. Once again, I'll take this even slower, 15 kilometers an hour. Another curve in the road. Look at that. It's difficult for me to, even for myself, someone who's been driving for many years and who teaches driving in his videos, in my awesome videos, subscribe on a side note, but it's really hard for me, even myself, to control the gas and the brake and also the steering wheel. Now, if you are coming to a stop, you know, I have to come to a complete stop. There's a stop sign here. It's a little bit different because now I'm accelerating, but I'm going to accelerate slowly. And as you can see, it's even difficult for myself to control this steering wheel, okay? But the pro is that you get a lot more time. Now, what I would recommend is, and I'll take this turn at a very, very slow speed, much slower than I would usually. Look at how difficult it is for me to figure out the curvature of the turn. It's not easy. What I would recommend, I'm just gonna pull over for this part. What I would recommend is that you practice turning at slow speeds, fast speeds, and normal speeds, especially if you're gonna be taking your driving test. You wanna be the master at, you know, using all of these different speeds, taking turns at slow speeds, medium speeds, and fast speeds, or slow, regular, and fast. Because if you are required to take a turn at a slow speed on the driving test, or even in everyday life, if you already have your license, you gotta know how to do it. You gotta be good at it. You don't wanna be like, oh, I hit the curb, I hopped the curb, oh no, there's a hazard, I don't know what to do. You don't wanna be in that situation. You want to know exactly what to do. So with that being said, just do what I'm doing right here. I'm just going in a loop, practicing, right? So let's say, you know, there's someone in front of me is driving really slowly, so I have to slow down and I have to take a turn at a slow speed. Once again, you know, you would regularly signal and do all of your safety checks if you were turning, but this is just a curve in the road. So I don't have to do that because the road just continues. So as you can see, it takes a little bit more practice and skill. And now that I'm doing this for the second loop around, it's a little bit easier. And if I did this 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 times, I would get better and better. It would become easier and easier, much easier to do. Very simple and straightforward. Basically, your wheel turn has to be slower. You got to be better at turning the wheel precisely. You got to be better at using the gas and the brake precisely to control your speed throughout the turn. And also the huge pro to taking a turn at a slow speed is you have much more time to respond. There's a parked car over here. Now let's say I was going fast. There's no one behind me, so I can just wait here for a moment. Let's say I was going fast and taking this turn fast. I would have to respond to that parked car like that. But if I go and I take this turn slowly like this, and I was at a stop sign there, look at that. I have lots of time to go around the parked car, come back over here. If I was taking this right-hand turn here slowly, I'm gonna slow down massively, right? It takes more skill, but I have a lot more time to see what's going on this street, okay? Very simple. Quick side note / tip for when you take turns slowly, look ahead in the turn. You know, that you should do that even if you're taking a turn at a fast speed, but especially if you're going slowly. What's going to help you control the steering wheel and the gas and the brake properly is looking ahead in the turn. That's it. I really hope you've enjoyed this driving lesson. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.